Hi everyone, this is Chris Stewart here with a fairly long training video from June 6, 2014. Today in training I did snatches, clean pulls for a double followed by a clean, and front squats. So today in training, the few things that I've noticed throughout the training session that I thought were worthwhile commenting on was keeping my arms fairly loose on all of my pulling off the ground, really. So I have this bad habit of tensing up, especially my right arm, and when I do snatches and I have my right arm tensed when I'm pulling, I end up nailing myself right on my pubic bone. So it really stings or bruises and hurts for a while, a couple days, and it's really annoying, more or less. So that only happens when I am not keeping my right arm loose. So I'm focusing on keeping those arms loose, pulling off the ground to avoid that unnecessary pain. So I'm doing triples here in training for 60 kilograms is what the weight I stayed at, and I missed some of them. I hit a lot of them. It's just was really feeling out what was good, what was bad, I guess. You see, I'm starting in this very, very low position, and I was talking to my coach today about this, and he says it's a bad idea because the very first thing your butt has to do is it shoots straight up, more or less, is what happens. Instead of you pulling the bar, your butt has to shoot up, and then you can start pulling the bar. So I'm going to actually avoid that in the future and start with a little higher starting position to avoid my butt shooting up right away. So that was another thing that I had noticed, or I should say my coach has noticed with my snatches, and I don't know if it's as prevalent with my cleans. I think it is. He also stated that I should keep my knees over the bar as far as possible. That allows me to have a more natural pull off the ground, I think was his reasoning. I was kind of confused on that, and I'll have to get clarification next time training, but he said he wants my knees over that bar as far as possible with my heels being on the ground simultaneously. For me, it seems kind of like conflicting ideas, so that's something I'll just have to get used to, but he says it's good from a leverage standpoint, and you'll be able to pull more off the ground if you can get that idea down. You can see, even on these, from this angle even more so, that my shins are perpendicular to the ground when I'm basically starting my pull, and that doesn't allow for your knees to go anywhere when you're pulling, so I have to pull around my knees instead of pulling straight up. So that was his reasoning, if I remember correctly now. Anyway, this was the set that I missed the first two, and I was just kind of like, what the heck's going on? My music fell out of my pocket, my phone fell out of my pocket, my headphones got messed up. I just threw my headphones and continued. But otherwise, I think everything felt pretty good. I think I'm getting better at pulling off the ground, which was the main concern of this training session, and I think I'm getting I think I'm getting more consistent about it. So that's good. I wanted to. One of the cues I also had this training session was just pull slowly. It's not a race to get off the ground. So if you can keep your positioning on that first pull, you're in a really good position to finish your snatch or your clean or whatever. So I was trying to keep in mind that I wasn't racing to get off the ground. I wanted to keep my arms loose and keep my back tight, and I felt like I embodied these things fairly well this training session. My coach wasn't in, but I guess he'll have to look at the footage or whatever and see what he thinks. After these snatches, I did the clean pulls for a double and then a clean. All this is doing is trying to make sure that I am pulling off the ground correctly with the clean pull, and then I'm finishing it with the clean. I mean, these first ones are very, very ugly and nothing to brag about for sure. But I think I got better as this training session went on and definitely improved. You can see here also is with my knees are not starting over that bar by the time I roll onto my heels. If you look at when I roll onto my heels and get set, my shins are perpendicular to the floor, more or less. So that is all I can think of for training notes today. I mean, it was a pretty encouraging training session. I felt strong. Took a day off before, so I wasn't as mentally worn out. That I kind of had been this week. First week getting accommodated to my job and everything, and I work out at night, so it gets to be a long day sometimes. But anyway, thanks for listening, guys.